So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use a table in the Nautical Almanac to calculate your latitude and or azimuth by Polaris. What you're looking at right here is a page from Bowditch 1981, Volume 2, which you can have in the exam room when you take your Coast Guard exam, and you can find this this little section here. I'm just going to show you a picture of that. Okay, so here it is, and this is the formula we're going to use for latitude. Corrected sextant altitude, that basically means HO minus 1 degree plus these three corrections, which are going to be in the table starting on page 274, the Polaris tables in the Nautical Almanac. So this is page 274, and it's the first of 3 pages that are this Polaris pole star tables. Okay, now the entering argument for this is actually LHA of Aries. So if you're going to do something with the Polaris, where you want to get an azimuth or you want to get latitude by Polaris, you're gonna need to calculate the LHA of Aries. Okay, not Polaris, of Aries. And this is actually 4 tables. This is a table. This is the A0 table. This is the A1 table. This is the A2 table. Okay, and the A0, the A1, and the A2 tables, you'll use those when you're doing latitude by Polaris. Okay, so if you're doing latitude by Polaris, you're going to have to pull a number out of this table, and this table. Now, it looks like one big table, but it's actually 4 tables, because there's this one down here. This one is for azimuth. The entering argument, the primary entering argument for all of these tables is LHA of Aries. So you have to calculate the LHA of Aries, and then you go in. For latitude, the top 3. For azimuth, you'll go down here. And you'll find the proper column, okay? And like if you were 45, you would choose between 40 and 49, and then you'd get all your information out of this column and that column only. If you came back and you had something that was like 113, you would use this column. Now, there's instructions down at the bottom for latitude. And so here is the same formula, similar formula. It's slightly different worded, but this apparent altitude means HO, apparent altitude corrected for refraction. What that means is HO. So latitude is going to be HO minus 1 degree plus A0 plus A1 plus A2. Okay, that was basically the same formula in Bowditch. And then down here it says you got to enter this book with the LHA of Aries and take out those corrections and add them. They're always positive. So there's some instructions there. Okay, now. A complete solution for latitude of Polaris, you're going to have HS, you're going to have to convert that to HO. And then you're going to have to calculate the LHA of Aries, so you're going to need to do something like this. And then after you calculate the LHA of Aries, then you need to take that formula, and you're going to go to the Polaris table on page 274 to 276. You're going to read the instructions at the bottom if you don't know them already. You're going to choose your LHA column. You're going to extract your corrections for latitude of A0, A1, or A2, and then you're going to use this formula, okay? And the thing that's important about this formula is you got to make sure that you get everything lined up appropriately. So you have degrees lined up with degrees, you have minutes lined up with minutes, all right? And then you'll have your latitude. If you're doing azimuth, then you're going to skip those top 3 tables. You're going to drop right down to the azimuth, the 4th table, and use that. So here is the next page, page 275, and you can see that it continues, and it's going to go all the way up to an LHA of 360 degrees. So, but the reason why this page is on here is because down here at the bottom, there's an example of calculating latitude. So you're going to have this right in there with the exam room. So here, this may not be exactly how the problems are presented by the Coast Guard. It's not, but it's the same basic idea. So here you're 1981, April 22nd, all right? And it gives you your GMT time. All right, so then you're going to take that, you're going to enter the Nautical Almanac, and you're going to get the GHA of Aries. Okay, remember, this is Aries, not Polaris, okay? So you get the GHA of Aries, you're going to get your increments in the back for 18 minutes, 56 seconds, and then you're going to apply your longitude. Since it's west, you subtract, and there's the LHA of Aries, okay? So and then they said the apparent altitude corrected for refraction, HO, is 4931.6. So that showed up over here, HO, 4931.6. And now they're getting ready. Now they're getting ready to, so this is the A0, this is the A1, this is the A2, and that's the subtracting of the 1 degree. So let's look at how they got these numbers, because these are the numbers. This 4931.6 is the HO that was given. And now we're going to take 162.26. We're going to go into this table. So now we have to find the appropriate column that 162.26 is going to fall into. It's going to be this one. Okay, so this is the column we're going to use. If I'm doing latitude, I'm going to take A0, A1, A2. If I'm doing azimuth, I'm going to skip down this column and I'm going to enter down here. And the only thing I need then is my LHA of Aries and my approximate latitude, and then that is going to be the true bearing to Polaris at that time. So that's how you do that. But let's go back over to here. So this is slightly more complicated for latitude. 4931.6. Boom. So where did this number come from? Okay, the LHA of Aries is 162.26. So I come up here to 162, and there is no 162, but 162 is between these two. So I'm going to choose this, and this is A0, A1, A2. So let me get the A0 out of here. So first up, I want you to notice over here on the side, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Oh, yeah. There's a better look at the example. Everything's a little bit more blown up there. Okay. But it turns out that what I just did was I just took a screenshot of this little area here. So this is really this little box, and I just blew it up over here. And so this is the 160 to 169 column, and this is the value for 160. This is the value for 161. This is the value for 162, 163, 164, all the way down to 170, at which point you go to the next column. So we are 162. We're not quite, what are we, 162.26? We're about halfway between 162 and 163. So really, we should interpolate right there. So we're going to go 161, 162, 163. We're going to go right there between those two, and that's it. So as we interpolate, well, it's about halfway between those two. That's 2 to make 30, and 5, that's 7. So that's like 3.5. So I don't know, that should be like 30.1. And look, there's the 30.1 interpolated from that. But the next question is, what the heck is this 1? Okay, this is 30. This is going to be, this column is for minutes. This is degrees. Okay, now over here you see there's a 0 for that. So for some of these numbers, you're going to have 0 degrees and some minutes, and otherwise you're going to have 1 degree and some minutes. You have to look at this and see if it is 1 or 0. The reason there's nothing written there is they just removed that to make it easier to read these tables. So really this is 30.1, and that's right there. Okay, great. So what is the A1 correction? Well, I stay in here and I slide down, and it looks to me like the argument now is LHA of Aries and latitude. Well, my latitude, they didn't give me my latitude, but you know what? Your HO is pretty darn close to your latitude. So our latitude should be somewhere around 49.5 degrees, let's say 50 degrees. So I come back to this column and I slide down, and look, there's a number for 50. It's 0.6. So that's what goes there, 0.6. Now, this is minutes. Okay, there's no degrees in these two. This is the only, A0 is the only one that could possibly have degrees. A1 and A2 are minutes only. So you can see this is minutes, this is degrees. Don't get that stuff screwed up. And then we will slide down for our A2 correction. I come down here. Looks to me like the entering argument is the month. Well, they told us it was it's April. So here's April, 0.9. Okay, just a second. 0.9, and there it is right there. And there is, when you add all that up, and then they subtracted 1. I recommend you subtract 1 earlier so you don't forget to do it. But anyway, that's the latitude. That's how you use that table.